Hi everyone, this is Jayendra Khatod and I am here to chart the best fit on Azure. As you know, in this series we pick up an Azure service and try to deep dive into its pricing and sizing aspects so that you can learn to create the most optimized consumption plan for your customers. Joining me today is our guest speaker Aruna Chakirala. Hey Aruna, hope you are doing great. Why don't you tell our viewers what you do here at Microsoft India and which Azure service are you picking up today?
Thanks, Jendra. Hello everyone. Welcome to the next edition of Chart the Best Fit. My name is Aruna Chakirala. I am a senior cloud solutions architect at Microsoft, and today we'll be talking on text analytics. Text analytics is a service on the cognitive stack which gives you insights into text using natural language processing. Now, text analytics is really giving you the ability to extract, classify, and understand text within documents. So let's look at how the big picture from this image. So as you can see in this picture, text analytics gives you a number of abilities, right from language detection or broad entity recognition. Personally identifiable information is part of the entity recognition. Similarly, you can also do key phrase extraction as well as powerful sentiment analysis or opinion mining. So all of these are covered along with document summarization. So text analytics also has the ability to analyze and process medical text, which fits into the health space of the text analytics. All of these together give you a range of abilities in analyzing and making sense of your text. So here's a quick demo of text analytics. Now what we have here is a small paragraph on planets in the solar system. So let's look at how it works around and does the different aspects of text analytics that we've seen before. So if I click on analyze it, I can now get a sentiment analysis around this paragraph. So as you can see, this is a very factual kind of paragraph. So it gives you a neutral score. The sentiment is neutral in this case. Now I could take this a step further and do entity extraction as well. So if you look at this specific example here, I'm actually extracting the entities from this paragraph. So it's able to identify the entities as well as link it to Wikipedia where possible. Similarly, I can also do a Bing entity search around it. So it adds the actual excerpts from the Bing search as well. Now, taking it a step further, I'm really getting into the realm of the next level, where here I'm able to actually extract, not just extract insights, but also even, generate an entire paragraph or a text around a query that I have. So this is really powerful. It's using the capabilities of the Turing NLG model, which has been trained on 17 billion parameters and really giving a very powerful aspect around it. So let's say I choose this selection where I'm asking the model, the engine, to give me a perfect pancake recipe. Now, the moment I raise this query, I get a recipe being created on the fly by the system itself. Right? So let's look at the pricing aspects of text analytics. Now, I can see this from the Azure Cognitive Services pricing page. Here I have the pricing for all the different types of services, but in our case, let's zoom in and focus on the language tab here, which is what we're interested in, since text analytics fits into the language space. And within this tab, I actually have multiple language tools available, but in my case, we are interested in the text analytics. Now, when we look at the pricing for text analytics, we have two tiers here. There is the free tier, which gives you 5,000 requests free, and beyond that, if you have querying rate, your transaction rate is more than that, definitely will need to get into the standard tier. Now, the text analytics standard gives you up to 100 requests per second or 1,000 requests per minute. That's the response times, that's the throughput that you're getting. And for this, you have different pricing tiers. Now, of course, all the different types of text analytics that we have seen before are part of the same pricing tier. And what the way it works is that for the first 0.5 million text records, I'm charged $1 per for a chunk of 1,000 text records, text queries, text messages. So the first 0.5 million is costing me $1, and following that, for every 1,000 chunks of records, 0.5 million to 2.5 million, I'm charged $0.75 for every 1,000 requests. So basically, we look at an exact pricing calculator as well. It will give you an concrete example of how it works. But suffice to say that for every 1,000 requests, you're charged, and this charging, this slabs will change as your usage increases. So you're actually getting better benefit, better cost per query as you start having higher and higher traffic rates. So potentially the first 0.5 million text records are charged at $1 per 1,000 text records. The next slab is 0.5 million to 2.5 million, which is charged at $0.75 per 1,000 text records, and then it keeps going on. So the last slab is 10 million plus text records, which gives you 0.25. It costs $0.25 per 1,000 text records. Now that's the charging aspect. Again, text analytics for health also gives you a set of free text records, text queries that you can use without being charged. In fact, we'll see it again as mentioned in the calculator. And as you can see, by the fifth 5,000 text records and above, you start getting incremental charge around it. So now this is the costing for the region Central US, and the currency we've chosen is USD. Of course, you can change this to a different region and then see what is the cost that you're getting there as well. So you can choose any of the other regions. Let's take Southeast Asia and see the cost here. Or you could even change this to, say, SGD and see what is the cost here. Okay, let's take to a different currency. Let's maybe make it AUD and see what's the charge here. So as you can see, the charge has changed based on the currency that we are looking at here, but potentially it's giving you a similar kind of charging aspect. So this is the cost for Southeast Asia, and if we change this to Australia Central, we'll get a different charge. Right, so this is something you can use based on your region, the region that you're making your queries from, the text analytics queries using the cognitive services in. So based on that, you can look at your specific charging aspects around it as well. Right, so let's go back here to so this is what we've seen so far. Now let's look at how do you build a calculator around this, right? How do I get to a place where I can actually combine and add the different types of usage aspects that you have within a specific use case and build a calculator around it. So this is where the pricing calculator helps big time. I can click on this pricing calculator and go to the calculator in itself, right? So within the calculator here, as you can see, I have different services within Azure, Now I'm specifically interested in AI plus machine learning. So let's click on this. And if you look at the different options here, I need to get into Azure Cognitive Services because this is where I have all the different services, be it vision, text, all of these fit into the cognitive service space. So when I get into the pricing calculator, I can see that I have multiple choices here. So let's check in on the cognitive service for language. Now within this option, this is primarily the one I need to choose for text analytics. And similarly, I can go ahead and choose the region that I have to choose from. I can choose any of the regions, basically the region where I would be really hosting my system, hosting and using the text analytics service from. That's what I'll need to put in here. Now, within the payment option, there are two choices here: pay as you go, commitment tiers. Let's flow with pay as you go right now and then look at the other option. So within the pay as you go, again, I have two choices, free and standard. So the free option is really giving you a set of transactions free. So in this case, I have 5,000 text requests that I can do free. And if my traffic is way beyond 5,000, I can get into the standard tier. That's where I will start using the service as well. Now let's look at the costing, how much it costs. So when I have one 2,000 text records. Similarly, if I go up to three, so I'm paying $3, 3 USD for 3,000 text records per month. So that's the costing that we can see. Now we've also seen that as our traffic increases, there is a threshold point for each slab beyond which my rate is also getting reduced. So that's where I start to see a positive impact of my traffic value, right? The value add that I will see. Now I've come up to 1,000, right? So that when I get beyond 1,000, I will start to see an yeah. So when I have 100, I'm at $100. Right? When I'm at 101, I'm still at 101. So obviously, needless to say, it will keep on increasing. So let's look at 1,000. Right. So the moment I get to 1,000, I start to see an incremental benefit from the traffic increase in traffic that I have. Right. So I start to use the 0.75 USD incremental charge. So that's where I start to see a change in my costing based on the traffic that I am expected to see. Now, this is a very important aspect of building a service, getting a sense of the expected projected traffic for that service and using that as an basis to build your bill of materials, right? So that's where you have a good sense of what to take forward, what to expect in the next few months as you start putting together a pricing list, bill of materials. Now, this is the text analytics service, which includes all of these different parts that we have seen, be it sentiment analysis, key phrase extraction, name entity recognition. All of these are covered within the same pricing tier. Now, text analytics for health is a service which is primarily geared to understanding medical text. Right, it can make sense of medical text, and that's the different type of a service. Now, the health text analytics is again priced differently from a regular text analytics service. Now, in this case, you have up to 5,000, which is free within standard. You'll need a standard tier to get the text analytics for health. So once you have 5,000 free text analytics text records, you will then be start charged for your usage, right? So from the sixth unit onwards, that is 6,000 records onwards, you'll start getting charged $25 per 1,000 units. So that's the charging for the health aspect of text analytics. Now that's the pricing calculator, which will really give you a sense of how to give you a sense of the what to expect from projection, traffic projection that you have, and building an bill of materials around it. Now this is the pay as you go option, which means that you have some idea of what to expect in terms of future traffic, but don't really have a concrete understanding of the traffic patterns. That's when you would go for pay as you go. On the other hand, commitment tiers is perfect for those scenarios where you have a good understanding of your traffic and you are certain of its of the usage patterns, the traffic patterns, right? So that's when you would go for commitment tiers. And the real benefit here is that you're getting very good costing, right? So this means that I have different commitment tiers. I can commit up to 1 million text records per month. If I'm able to commit to this, traffic volumes, I will only be charged $700. And as we have seen before, a million text records was costing more than $800 in the standard tier, right? In the pay-as-you-go tier. So this is very good value for money. Of course, you need to understand your traffic patterns enough to know that you are able to commit to 1 million text records, and then you would get the benefit of a reduced price fare for it. Similarly, you can choose any of the other options here, 1 million, 3 million, 10 million. All of these are really helping you to get your best value for money. Of course, given the fact that you understand the expected traffic from the service that you are billing for, right? So that's the different options around commitment tiers. Again, this is so these are the commitment tiers that you are committing to, which means 1 million text records, which comes at $700. But then again, there could be a slight, flow over a million. Probably you didn't anticipate a point in time where you have 1,500,000 more text records, right? Or maybe 1,000 more text records. In that case, you are then charged a different rate because, of course, this is a buffer over your commitment tier, and that's where you get charged 0.70 per every 1,000 units, right? So your charge is slightly lesser than the pay-as-you-go. It's definitely lesser than pay-as-you-go, but it's still not giving you the price benefit of committing to a million records or 2 million records, right? So, but it's still a value add and gives you a good point in time usage aspect based on the incremental usage that you may have at a point in time. So that's the commitment tiers, a good value add, a good aspect to use when you have the concrete understanding of traffic patterns. Again, similarly, you can use this commitment tiers for different regions and zone in on the specific region that your service is being hosted. So that's the text analytics service and the pricing calculator for you.
Hey, thank you so much, Aruna, for a very detailed and insightful session on the pricing and sizing aspects of Azure Text Analytics, the cognitive service. I'm sure it will help our viewers to better do the pricing and sizing the next time they are working on a consumption plan for Azure Text Analytics. Thank you so much. And that's about it for this episode, folks. Signing off, this is Jayendra Khatod. Until next time, keep learning.